Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to be doing another 3-day stretch of budget meals, and of course I have a family of 6, and this is going to include breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks for all 3 days, and the total is $32. So I don't think it gets much more budget friendly than that. So let me tell you guys what I'm going to be making, and then we'll go over the grocery haul, and then we can jump into the actual meal preparations. So of course I had to plan out the meals for the next 3 days. I did some research, I came up with what meals I wanted to make, and then I created a grocery list based on those meals and went ahead and did the shopping. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go over what we're actually making for these next 3 days as far as the menu goes. So on day 1 for breakfast, we're having a lemon blueberry breakfast bread, and for that recipe I needed to buy lemons because I didn't have any of those. I have blueberries on hand, and of course I have like flour and pantry staples like that. So really the only thing that I needed to buy for that was lemons, and I believe it may have called for some yogurt, which I also bought. For lunch we're having a pasta salad, and it's going to have romaine lettuce, boiled eggs, cucumber, and chickpeas. So I went ahead and added romaine lettuce and cucumbers to my list. I also added eggs to my list because I was thinking we could have boiled eggs along with that breakfast bread as well, just to add a little bit of extra protein and just to make it even more filling. For dinner we're having a minestrone soup, and for that I needed to add celery to my list. I have carrots and I have the kidney beans, and I believe I also have some tomatoes in there, so I don't need to add any of that stuff to my list. This one is pretty simple, so it's only celery. And then for a snack we're gonna have banana boats, and what that is basically you slice a banana in half lengthwise, and then you can top it with peanut butter, honey, chocolate chips, coconut, whatever you want. So that is like a healthy, quick, easy little snack that the kids will enjoy. And then on day 2 for breakfast, we're having breakfast tacos, and I'm going to include black beans, eggs, avocado, and tomato in them for those who like it. Some of my kids don't like all those ingredients, but of course that's a recipe that's really easy to customize. For this recipe, I did need to add avocado and tomato to my list. For lunch, we're having taco potatoes, and for the taco meat, I'm going to be using lentils. So I already have those in there, so the only thing I had to buy for that was the russet potatoes, so I added those to my list. For dinner, we're having chili lime baked tilapia. All the recipes that I'm not making up off the top of my head are going to be linked down below in the description box for you to check out. This particular recipe is from Tasty, and the only ingredient that I needed to purchase to make this was the tilapia. For a snack on day 2, we're going to have chocolate chip granola frozen yogurt bark. And basically to make that, you take some unflavored Greek yogurt, you flavor it with vanilla and maple syrup or honey to sweeten it, and then you put it onto a baking tray, sprinkle your ingredients on top, and you pop it into the freezer, and it creates frozen yogurt. And then you can break that into little pieces, so it's like having a dessert bark kind of thing. Like if you were to have like a peppermint bark or something like that, it's the same thing but just a healthier version, and also kind of like an ice cream alternative. I have chocolate chips already in my pantry, but I will have to make some kind of a quick granola, which shouldn't be a problem. I have oats and other things that I can throw in there if I need to, but you can really just make a quick granola with only oats, which is probably what I'll do. I'm not quite sure yet. And then on day 3 for breakfast, we're having peanut butter cup overnight oats, and basically all you do is throw your oats and milk and seasoning. If you were to season it, you would add like your cinnamon, nutmeg, whatever you're putting, whatever flavorings and seasonings you're putting in there, along with some milk. Give it a shake, and the next day you have basically cold oatmeal. I'm sure you guys have heard of overnight oats, but that's the gist of it. But in this particular recipe, we're going to be adding in some peanut butter and chocolate chips to make like a peanut butter cup version of it. So I did add some milk to my list. And then for lunch, we're going to be having like pizzadillas or either tortilla pizzas. So basically I'm just going to be adding some tomato sauce and cheese on top. The kids don't really, if they wanted some veggies on top, they could also add that, but they mostly just like to eat cheese pizza, so that is another quick and easy little meal. And I did add tortillas to my list as well. For dinner, we're having burrito bowls, and for us, that's something that we have pretty regularly. So it's going to be like black beans, cilantro lime rice, corn. I usually make a black bean and corn mixture, cilantro lime rice, and then like a pico de gallo and cheese and sour cream on top. So I added sour cream to my list. I added some Roma tomatoes. I added some cilantro. I also added avocado because we usually will make a guacamole to put on top, or just slice some avocado on top of it. So I added all those ingredients to my list so we can make sure that the burrito bowls are on point. And then for a snack, we can have smoothies, which is another reason for the milk. So I believe that's everything that's on my list. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the list on the computer right now, and then we'll go ahead and go over the grocery haul, the pricing, and all that.
All right, so here is the grocery list, and I believe that we went over everything that's on here, maybe with the exception of bananas. So milk, bananas, lemons, romaine lettuce, celery, cilantro, tilapia, Roma tomatoes, sour cream, tortillas, eggs, russet potatoes. I ended up buying 2 bags of this frozen sweet corn. Also needed to get peanut butter, cucumbers, avocados, onion powder, and yogurt. So that is everything that's on the list. Now let's go ahead and go over the grocery haul. So I'm actually in the process of editing this video, and I just realized that I don't have any of the footage from the actual grocery haul. I guess I deleted it somehow. So here's what I actually bought. The sour cream, which was 79 cents, the milk $2.05, the yogurt $2.39, celery was $1.19, romaine hearts $2.19, cilantro $1.38 because I got 2 of them. I also got 2 cucumbers at 59 cents a piece, which made it $1.18. A 5-pound bag of russet potatoes for $2.89. A bag of lemons, they were $1.39. Some Roma tomatoes, which were $1.19. Peanut butter was $1.15. Onion powder, 69 cents. 2 bags of frozen corn, they were 69 cents each, making it $1.38. I got a 2-pound bag of tilapia, which was $5.89. 2 bunches of bananas, which came to $2.05. Flour tortillas for 95 cents. I got some sponges, which I'm going to not include because they aren't food. Some honey wheat bread, which was 75 cents, and 2 avocados for 98 cents. And the eggs at Aldi were like $1.50, so I decided not to buy those there, and I actually decided to go to Lidl to get those. For an 18 count of eggs, I paid $1.33, and also bought dishwashing detergent there too, but again, I'm not counting that because it's a cleaning supply and not groceries.
So if you guys remember, the price for all of this inside the Instacart app was $36.14, and that's without the sponges. And what I actually paid in real life was, I'm going to subtract the sponges from my total at Aldi. I actually paid $32.28 with the sponges and without the eggs. So I'm going to subtract the sponges from the Aldi receipt and add them. They're on the Lidl receipt, and they were $1.33. So if I take the $32.28, subtract the cost of the sponges, which were $1.69, that gives me $30.59, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the eggs, which were $1.33, and that gives me a total of $31.92. So I saved about $5 from what I thought I was going to be spending. So essentially it's $32 for the next 3 days for 3 meals and 1 snack every day. That is amazing, especially considering the fact that we're a family of 6. So let's go ahead and jump into our first recipe. It's breakfast time, so I'm going to be making the lemon blueberry breakfast cake. All right, so for breakfast, I'm going to go ahead and boil some eggs to go along with the breakfast spread. And I'm also going to do some extra ones for the salad for lunch too. So I'm just going to put as many will fit in here and let those boil, and then we can get started on actually making the bread. And I'm going to go ahead and double the recipe for the breakfast bread. It's calling for a 1/3 cup of butter. So 4 tablespoons is a 1/4 cup, and 8 is a 1/2 cup. So how much is a 1/3 cup? Is it 6? Hey Google, how many tablespoons of butter make a 1/3 cup?
5 tablespoons. According to Betty Crocker, 1/3 cup would equal 5 tablespoons plus 1 teaspoon butter.
So we need like 10 tablespoons of butter for this recipe if we're doubling it. So this is 8 tablespoons. 1 stick of butter is 8 tablespoons. So I'm just gonna like chop up the butter a little bit and toss it into this bowl so we can get it into the microwave and melt. So there's 8. And you know what, rather than opening a whole nother stick of butter, I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of oil instead. So 1, 2, and that way that just keeps me from having to open up another stick of butter. So I'm gonna pop this into the microwave, melt the butter, and then come back. So it's also calling for lemon juice and lemon zest, but in order to get the juice, I kind of need to have the zest ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and zest this lemon. Now that I have the entire lemon zested, we can go ahead and add in the juice. The recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar, but I'm gonna drop it down to 3/4. And since I'm doubling it, I'm going to put 1.5 cups of sugar total. So there's 1 cup, 1/2 cup, and 4 eggs. I'm also going to go ahead and add in some vanilla. And the other ingredients are 2 teaspoons of baking powder,
1 cup of milk, 3 cups of flour, and 1 teaspoon of salt.
Now the last thing we need to do is add in our blueberries. And then we can get this into a baking dish and into the oven. The breakfast bread is in the oven, but the kids are hungry now, so I'm going to let them go ahead and have some eggs. So I'm just salting and peppering them. And then once the bread comes out, I'll show you guys what that looks like too.
touch and roll, barely touch my phone. Is it too much for you? Is it too much for you? Groupie love me, camera like me, yeah. Is it too much for you? Is it too much for you? I make you feel like how you looking. What's that? Good, a natural woman. You know the amount of work that I put in. You know how I'm still trying to get my foot in the door while I'm trying to keep your soul nourished. Yes, it is love, but my goal's still important. Way more than clothes and cars, that's important. No more clearance or I can't afford it. What's poor in my life? You deserve what you want for tomorrow and today, girl. I'm coming home late, girl. When I get back off tour, then it's a date, girl. Got you reeled in, you my bae, take the bait, girl. High heels, fashion over dress, gon' slay, girl. You got good taste, girl. Lobster and steak, girl. Backside cake, girl. Should've been a baker. Too much is never enough, so what you say, girl? Touch and roll, barely touch my phone. Is it too much for you? Is it too much for you? Groupie love me, camera like me, yeah. Is it too much for you? Is it too much for you? Miss Dark Tent, I'm your Clark Kent. Body like a Benz, let me park it. Get you started. Where you tryna go? Like, for instance, maybe the distance, even when I'm distant. You feel me? You too fine to be ever done filthy. Touch and roll, then I'm touch and roll. Girl, I gots to go, but I'm coming home like, do your back hurt? I can fix that. You had an ex-man, that's a big cat. Those before me, you can't forget that. He only hit that, didn't commit that. Head on my six-pack, Netflix and kickback. I love the contact, when I'm gone I miss that. Is it mutual? Do you too? Not what you used to, I'm way more useful. I'm saying touch and roll, barely touch my phone, barely touch my phone. Is it too much for you? Is it too much for you? Groupie love me, groupie love me, camera like me, yeah. Is it too much for you? Is it too much for you? Two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, ayy. 1, 2-step, ayy, two-step, two-step, ayy, ayy. 1, 2-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, ayy. 1, 2-step, ayy, two-step, ayy. Everybody join in, ayy, two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, ayy. 1, 2-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, ayy. 1, 2-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, ayy. 1, 2-step, ayy, two-step, ayy, two-step, ayy.
Ryan Little.